Hi class. During this unit we're going to be turning to our second round of liturgical problems in the Corinthian church. Last week we saw in chapter 11 problems with the observation of the Lord's Supper and problems with inclusivity in worship, namely the principle of head coverings. We saw that Paul in essence inverts the honor-shame system associated with head coverings in ancient Corinth to bring equality to male and female worship in the Corinthian church. In chapters 12 through 14, Paul addresses more liturgical issues, and these, of course, are very significant passages for we as Pentecostals. Chapters 12 and 14 particularly address the problem of spiritual gifts, and notice that these bracket the great love poem of 1 Corinthians 13. I'm glad that we read this during weddings, but it wasn't about weddings, it was about worship. This chapter was about the usage of spiritual gifts. In chapter 12, Paul gives us the tremendous image of the body of Christ that has stuck into Christian language ever since. We'll see in our readings this week that this was actually a very stock way that politicians spoke about the unity of a particular city. Paul employs that stock rhetoric for the church and the unity of the church in 1 Corinthians 12. And then in 1 Corinthians 14, we find the tricky language about tongues and prophecy. I'll be interested in engaging with your research this week. I would suggest to you that the only way 1 Corinthians 14 really makes sense is if prophecy is some form of prepared preaching. Notice that Paul certainly does not outlaw the use of tongues. He accelerates it in 1 Corinthians 14. He just asks that the worship service be ordered in such a way that outsiders can understand and connect to what is going on. So I look forward to some robust discussion together this week over these liturgical issues.